All right. Good afternoon, beautifuls. Hope your day is going stupendously well. And by popular demand, I've been requested to record us going over the review. So we will. Starting with number one. The first problem here has finding each product. It's multiplying two binomials, which means we are going to FOIL, which means first outside, inside last. So 6 times 6 would be 36p squared. 6 times 8 would be 48 plus, that's positive, so plus 48p. Negative 8 times 6 would be negative 48p. And negative 8 times 8 would be negative 64. Okay? From here, we've already FOILed out. We just got to clean this up. And I can tell you right now that positive 48p will cancel out with negative 48p. So your final answer for number one should be 36p squared minus 64. Give me a quick second. Yes.
Okay, she's leaving.
Thank you. All right. Sorry about that, guys. But Ashley Silva is leaving for my 7th period, in case you guys are watching this at home. Moving on. Number 3, I'm going to go do another one here because now I've given you a binomial multiplying times a trinomial. Okay, so I'll do this one on the right just for the sake of having more space. Then we do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and multiply 2n times 6n squared, which would be 12n cubed. Very good, Mila. 2n times negative 4n would be negative 8n squared. 2n times 7 would be plus 14 plus 14n. I'm running out of space. I should have zoomed in closer. Now, 3 times 6n squared would be positive plus 18n squared. 3 times negative 4 would be negative 12n. And 3 times 7 would be positive 21. Okay, I know it looks really, let me zoom in here. I know it looks really bad because I have 2 lines, but we need to combine everything here. So there's nothing to combine the 12n cubed with. There's something to combine this negative 8n squared. That is going to be, let's rewrite it in a different color. Let's go with orange. So again, the 12n cube's got to get copied down. There's nothing I can do with it. This negative 8n squared can get added with the positive 18n squared, which will end up becoming plus 10n squared, because negative 8 plus 18 is, so we cancel those two, is positive 10. This positive 14n can get added with a negative 12n, which gives me a plus 2n, and we're done with that, and then the 21 just comes down. So this would be your final answer. All right, moving on to the bottom ones. I'll leave 2 and 3 for you guys to do. Moving on with number 5. When we're multiplying, I'll do 5 and 7. Well, actually, I'll do all the ones on the left-hand side, and you guys can do the ones on the right. We're multiplying straight across. There is no coefficient to this x, so we just have to know that there's an imaginary 1 there. So 1 times 3 would be 3. X cubed times x to the, there's an invisible 1 here. So 3 plus 1 would be x to the 4th power. And then y cubed times y to the 4th would be y to the 7th power. Once again, your rule when multiplying, you have to add the exponents. So again, I added 3 with that 1. That gave me that 4. 3 and that 4 gave me that 7. That's all I did there. Now on number 7, same rules. Multiply the coefficients, so 2 times 3 gives me a 6. P squared, I got to multiply, same letters got to get multiplied with each other. So P's got to get multiplied with P's, Q's with Q's, M with M. So in this case, P squared times P squared would be P to the 4th power. Again, we're adding 2 plus 2 gives me that 4. Now I have a Q. But I don't have anything to multiply. I don't have another Q over here, so we just copy it straight down. Q just gets copied down. I don't have an M on this one, so we're just going to copy down the M. And there's your final answer. The rule with number 9 here, our power rule, okay, Whenever they have parentheses and it's being raised to a higher power or another power, we multiply the exponents. So 2 times 4 is going to be 8. So I know I'm going to have n to the 8th power. The 3, this is just saying 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. But coach, why are you doing that? Well, because this tells me right here that I have to raise it to the 4th power. That's why I'm multiplying 4 times. In this case, you'd multiply that 4 twice. But in this case right here, this problem, I am raising it to the 4th power. So I'm saying 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Times 3 is 27. Times 3 is what? 81? My class here says it's 81. So my final answer would be 81n to the 8th power. Once again, recapping this, and the good thing about the video is you can rewind and play this and record it as many times as you want. I am multiplying my exponents here. That's 2 times 8. That's where I got that 8. I'm sorry, 2 times 4. That's where I got that 8 from. The 3 is just being raised to that 4th power 4 times because that's what that number says. If we look at the next example, number 11, let's do the coefficient 4. That's 4 times 4, twice. But coach, why are you doing twice? And up here you did it 4 times. Because it's telling me to. This 2 is telling me 2 times 4, 2 times the number 4. So 4 times 4, that's a big old 16 right here. And now, my exponents and my variables, they follow the power rule. 3 times 2 would be 6. And again, 3 times 2 would be 6. And this would be your final answer. All right, moving down here to let's do number 13 for now. I'll do 15 and 17. So number 15. First, the coefficients. 3 divided by 4. They can't get divided, so we just copy them down. Just replace them. 3 over 4. The x here has an invisible 1, so we're gonna put that in there. So now here's the question. I have x to the 1st power divided by x to the 3rd power. When we divide, we subtract the exponent. So this, I got to say 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3. It's always the top number subtracting the bottom number. Okay? Always going to be top number minus the bottom number. So 1 minus 3 gives me x to the negative 2. 3 minus 3 gives me y to the 0 power. I know what you're thinking, but sir, you can't have that. Just relax. Let's clean it up in a bit, okay? Again, letters have to be the same if you're going to mess with them. Over here, just to give you an example, here they put the B first and then the A, but then the bottom they have the A and then the B. That's fine, guys. Don't freak out, okay? Do the letters with the letters. So in this example on the top, I'm not going to do it for you, but this B has an imaginary 1, you're going to subtract that imaginary 1 by this 4 because that's where the B's are. Okay, and the A's are going to get subtracted by each other. Always do the same letter with the same letter. All right, back to the original problem down here. We've already done the actual math. Now we just got to clean this up. The 3 over 4 stays, because, I mean, it just is what it is. You can never have a negative exponent, okay? So the opposite of what this is, I mean, what you're going to do is you're going to have to bring it down. So all you're going to do is you're going to bring this down and make it a positive. The moment it comes down, it becomes a positive. Y to the 0 is just 1. It went away. All right? Bye, Felicia. That's the simplest way that I can explain it to you. Anytime you have to the 0 power, it'll go away. The only rule that you're learning here is making sure that if you have an exponent that's a negative, you bring it down. Now, just a little side example up here. If I had, for example, 3 to the negative 2 power, this would then become 1 over 9. Right? Where did I get the 9 from? Well, this became 3 squared, and 3 squared is 9. Now, also on the flip side, if I have 1 over, 5 to the negative 2 power, and the 5 is in the bottom, you do the opposite of it. Because it's at the bottom, I'm going to have to pick it up. 5 to the negative 2 would become 5 squared over 1, and 5 squared is going to be 25, so the final answer here would be 25. Keep that in mind while you're working with the next one. So I'll do 17 with you right here. We'll do 1 over 2. That stays there. I have negative 2 minus 2. Negative 2 minus 2, that would become x to the negative 4. Right? Negative 2 minus 2 is what we're doing. That gave me that negative 4. Now, I don't have anything to play with this y, so I'm just going to copy it down. Y to the negative 3, and we'll clean it up right now. Now we can clean it up. The 1 over 2 stays. Coach just told me that I cannot have a negative exponent, so I'm going to have to bring it down. So that comes down to the 4th power down here. This y has a negative exponent of negative 3. Guess what? We have to do opposite of it. So it can't stay down here. It has to come up, so it'll come up to the 3rd power. And that would be your answer. All right, we'll do number 20 here. I'll just do one out of all these 4, because I don't feel the need to do all of them. We need to find the multiples of, and I'll rewrite it up here just so I have more room. I have the square root of 200. The multiples of 200, I'm going to say 10 and 20. From here, I'm going to break down the 10 to 2 and 5, and I'm done with it. Over here, I'm going to say 4 and 5, and then this 4, I'm going to break it down again by 2 by 2. Now we need to find our pairs. Okay, I have a pair of 2s here. I have a pair of 5s as well. This guy, he's a loser. He has no friends to come outside and play with. So therefore, he stays inside the house. So again, this 2 didn't have a partner, so it stays inside. One of the 5s comes out, and one of these 2s comes out. And they got to get multiplied. So my final answer here is going to be, well, 5 times 2 would be, final answer would be 10 square root of 2. That would be for number 20. Number 22. Number 22 here. Angelina's computer science grades for the 6 weeks are 94, 89, 93, 100, 74, 72, 89, 97. Find the range, median, mode, mean. Okay, so let's start with the range here. The range, by definition, is the biggest number subtracted by the smallest number. The biggest number that I see here is 100. So we're going to say range is going to be 100 minus the smallest number. The smallest number here, if I am correct, is 72. Yes? All right, 72, which ends up being 28. So your range is 28. All right, check. My median. In order for me to get my median, I need to organize these from least to greatest. So let me organize them for least to greatest here. I'll do it in pink. What's the smallest one we said was 72? 72. After 72 is what? 74. After 74? 89? 89. Now here's a good question here. But sir, there's 2 of them. You only copy one of them down. Notice how there's 89 here, there's 89 here. Just one of them needs to go down. So after 89, what else we got? 93 after 93. 94 after 94. 97. Yes? And after 97, 100. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 of them. The median is the middle number. So I can tell you right now, this is the middle number. So the median, let's go back to maroon so we can write the answers all in maroon here. My median is going to be 93. That easy. The hardest part is you having to organize them from least to greatest. So that one, check. My mode. Mode is which number comes out the most. Which number came out the most? 89. So 89 is that answer. Check. And my mean, we have to add all of these up and divide by however many there is. So if there's repetitive ones, yes, you have to continue adding them up. So can someone add them all up for me, please? 94 plus 89 plus 93 plus 100 plus 74, all that good stuff. What did you get? 700 what? 708. So if I add them up according to my professional Algebra 2 assistant here, Jimena, she said it's 708. We're going to divide that 708 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 708 divided by 8, and what's my answer? 88.5? Anyone get anything different? So my average or mean is 88.5. Here are your answers here. Now, the last problem, you guys, I don't have it because I wrote it in. If you guys can see your review, I made it. So I'm going to copy it down real quick, and then we'll talk about it real here. I got enough time to go over this one last problem here. I just want to make this file too big. So let me just copy this square here. I gave you guys a square. I told you guys that this is 5x plus 2. I also told you that there's a square inside the square, and that is 3x. Okay? And obviously if that's 3x, and that's 3x. So question number 1 is find the area of the small square. How do I find the area of a square, guys? Area of square is what? What's the formula? Anyone know it? Length times width. If it's a square, I've always been known to be side squared, or length times width. Either or, I'll write it here, length times width. So for the little square, what's 3x times 3x? What is it? 9x squared. Very good. So the area of small square is going to be 9x squared. Very good. Now, you better hold it because I got. Sorry, whoever needs me. Let me just finish this video. So, especially if it's recording, I don't want to go to the other screen. So now I have the small area of the small squared is 9x squared. Then they want to know what's the area of the big square. So area of the big square, we'll just say big. What's the area of the big square? For that, we have to do 5x squared. 5x plus 2 times 5x plus 2. And hopefully you paid attention at the beginning of this video and we did FOIL. So we would have to say 5x times 5x. Beautiful. Let me just write this down. 25x squared. 5x times 2, 10x. 2 times 5x, 10x. And 2 times 2, 4. When cleaned up, it would be 25x squared plus 20x plus 4. That's the area of the big square. The last question is find the area of the shaded region. If all of this is shaded, what do you think we have to do? Go ahead, Imena. Very good. We know the area of the small square. We know the area of the big square. All we're going to have to do is subtract subtract this 25x squared plus 20x plus 4, which is the area of the big square, minus that 9x squared. And that one's super easy because the 9x squareds can only subtract with each other. So 25 minus 9 is what? 16. So my final answer for that last question is going to be 16x squared plus 20x plus 4. Tomorrow on your exam, listen to me because I got this wild idea. You're going to do the same concept. It might be a different shape. So I might feel a little fancy and give you a rectangle, or I might give you a circle. Whatever the case may be is I'm going to give you the formula for you to do it, but you're going to do the same concept. You're going to have to find the area of the small one, area of the big one, and then you're going to have to subtract them. Okay? So, hope you guys study. I'm going to go ahead and put a pause on this video and enjoy your night.